Oh my.
It's always a surprise every week. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Artificial Entertainment. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Lakaitis. Humming in right now is my friend Mason Betterly.
Hello again. Here I go again, singing a song.
And with us is our other friend, our also friend.
Also friend.
Also, say your name.
What?
It's
I can't
oh my
hear
gosh,
you over
this is
the
your
humming.
introduction.
Oh. Mason was being loud and catchy. I can't help it.
Still waiting
Who
on the
are
name.
you?
Oh, I thought you said the name. Okay. No, I'm Tyler Yearney. Hi, how are you?
There we go. There we go. We're off to a good start.
Oh, it's a good day. It's a great day, everyone.
Boys, this is our 4th episode already. There's 6 hours of us talking on the internet. Can you believe that?
Sooner or later, we're going to be able to do a clip show. And then we won't have to do work that week.
With no actual clips.
Mm-hmm.
Well, audio clips.
Oh. Are podcast clip shows a thing?
Yeah, no, I've heard.
That
podcast
sounds
clip shows
awful.
before.
That's like the ultimate form of laziness, because you don't have to actually get up and shoot anything. You just... Alright.
I'm so worried that if this podcast ever catches on and we get to go to something where there are other podcasters, Tyler's just going to offend them all.
Oh, I'm gonna ruin it.
You're all terrible people.
You are
You're so lazy.
Complete sellouts. I can't believe you get paid to do this.
But speaking of places where other podcasters will be, I think I found the perfect place for us to get big.
Where?
It's called PodCon in Seattle, Washington.
No.
Yes.
I've always
Yes.
wanted to go to Seattle.
It's December 9th and the 10th. All we got to do is get there. We just need to get invited, and that's when we can start meeting fans, or really making fans.
Alright, so it's
No,
a
you
PodCon.
go to it after you have fans.
It's a bunch of podcasters, and then the fans get there, and then are like horrified to see what these people actually look like.
Yeah,
Probably.
exactly.
Oh,
Our
wow.
cartoons are pretty accurate, though. I started waxing my mustache, though, so now it's kind of curly. It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I heard...
So
wait,
what I need from you guys is I need ideas. How do we get invited to this convention that's in like 3 weeks?
We ask politely. Oh, wait, it's in 3 weeks? No. Maybe
wait,
next
it's in
year.
3 weeks from now?
3 weeks, that's plenty of time to get invited, get a plane ticket, and head out to Seattle.
That is not...
Oh my
That is
gosh,
not the case.
Thanksgiving's next week.
It is.
That's alright. Where
That's
does the
why
time
our-
go?
And prom's tomorrow.
That's why our theme this week is prequel movies, because Thanksgiving is the prequel holiday to Christmas.
Oh
no.
Which is
That's-
really how everyone treats it.
When is that on your notes?
As flimsy as Thor Ragnarok's plot.
It would be a perfect transition into the movies if we didn't have to do the news first.
All right,
So-
so what's up in the news?
Wait,
Well,
did Mason say Thor Ragnarok or Viva Rock Vegas? I wasn't paying attention.
Both. No, actually, we'll get into the plot for my movie, but I did say Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
So when he just heard it as Rock Vegas, is what you're saying.
Thor Ragnarok Vegas.
Ragnarok Vegas.
That's the sequel. Someone call my TD. We got the pitch. We got the pitch of the century.
For the Hanna-Barbera Cinematic Universe.
Fantastic.
finally we
about
can see the
Korg.
Flintstones, Yogi Bear, and Huckleberry Hound on the big screen together.
All with Korg.
I'm sure that's
Hey, they-
happened before.
Hey man, you want to be part of our revolution?
I was going to try and do the accent, but then I realized I just sound terrible and decided to skip it.
Who was
So,
that
the
supposed to be?
news.
No, who was that supposed to be?
What? That was my attempt at Korg.
I'm sure it sounds
Oh,
better
I
into his
thought-
microphone than over the phone to
I
us.
thought it was Boo Boo for some reason. I don't know why.
Boo Boo.
Rocky. Oh no, Rocky. Do you want to be part of the revolution?
Okay, so the news.
Boo.
Oh
You got
boy.
Mjolnir?
So the news.
Anyway, the news.
The news.
So the nudes.
The news.
The news.
Guys, I think we're developing an echo.
Barely.
They're not going here.
All right.
We have
so-
wasted
Your
5 minutes
Peter.
of.
All right, the Mario movie's coming out. Illumination Animation is releasing a Mario movie.
Woo!
No, are they?
Cool.
Yes.
How'd they get the rights to that?
Nintendo has finally built up the courage to start releasing movies again after the terrible original Super Mario Brothers movie.
That was over 20 years ago.
And I'm actually excited for this. Like,
yeah, I am too.
I know Illumination Animation gets a lot of crap for the Minions, but I think at the very least, this is going to be a very fun-looking movie. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
going
their
to be
animation's
bouncy.
gorgeous. It's
Yeah, I think their
great.
animation's
Yeah.
pretty good. I actually like their movies, so...
Did they do the Captain Underpants movie, or is that someone else?
I don't know. I think so. I think they did that.
Which movie?
Tyler, you're the animation guy.
No, that was DreamWorks.
Oh, that was?
Yeah.
Well, we can dream. But
Works.
Oh.
I'm excited for this. I think it'd be great if the first great video game movie was also the first bad video game movie. I would love to see that parallel.
Full circle. Yeah.
Right?
They already
Yeah.
had a great video game movie. It was Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, that's actually a great
And
video
The
game
Wizard.
movie. But I
The
gotta
Wizard
say...
From 1989.
It's
Yeah.
still Nintendo. And that was the first movie, I think, based on a video game?
I think so.
The Wizard?
Based on a real...
Pretty sure.
Well, because basically
No,
the Wiz...
E.T. was based on a video game.
Oh,
No,
shut
The
up.
Wiz is based on The Wizard of Oz, but with Michael Jackson in it.
All right, great. Yep, we really covered that news story, guys.
Oh,
awesome.
I got one.
Okay,
That
go for it.
wasn't actually in the news, but I actually came upon it scrolling through the movies coming out in 2018 because I'm like, what do we have to look forward to? And I realized Disney next year is releasing a movie called Christopher Robin about a grown-up Christopher Robin played by Ewan McGregor, who all his friends from the 100-Acre Wood come to him when he's an adult and try to teach him the magic of childhood again. I'm not kidding. This is a real movie coming out.
Really? Isn't
Is
there
Disney
another
doing
Christopher Robin movie coming out?
Well, yeah, but that's like Christopher Robin as a kid, and it's more about A.A. Minnie who's writing them.
Milne, not Minnie.
Milne. Sure.
Culture yourself. Culture yourself, homeschooler.
Harsh.
Oh boy. Is
But
Disney
yeah.
doing the movie, or is it someone else?
No, that Disney.
I don't know.
Disney. You talking to me or are you talking to him?
That's
What's
a little
going
too
on?
meta for Disney, I think.
No, Disney's doing it.
Okay, so is this their live action Winnie the Pooh movie?
Yeah, I don't know if the characters are going to be traditionally animated or CGI, but they're going to be like Jim Cummings is coming back.
This will be weird.
Oh, bother.
I think Brad Garrett's going to be Eeyore, which is weird.
Why the dude who does Eeyore is still alive? He's stuck in all the bad Transformer movies. Get
Yeah.
him.
Was he
Ooh.
Eeyore in the last one like 6 years ago?
No.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up.
I don't think it was.
Yeah. Mark Foster is directing, apparently, from what I'm seeing here.
Who's Mark
And
Foster? Should I know who that is?
he directed the acclaimed World War Z.
That was
Because,
okay.
you know, I see a correlation.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I actually didn't mind that movie.
And I'm certainly interested in this one. I would love to see what they do with it.
Mark
Well,
Foster is a lawyer in Bloomington.
Okay.
What?
Well.
Did I not spell this right? Hold on.
Personally, I think they should make Christopher Robin
Anyway.
a little bit older than Ewan McGregor
Is
and
it
have
Forster
Christopher
or
Walken.
Foster?
Christopher Robin. Hello, Pooh.
I know the Animaniacs already made that joke, but I'd
Yeah.
still love to see it in real
In
life.
live action. Oh, what if you had him play Owl?
Christopher Walken as Owl, I'd be behind
As
that.
Owl.
I'd buy that.
I
for
can
$1.
support that. Hello, Christopher Robin. It's
What's
been
up,
too long.
Robin.
Well, really, him as anything, even Rabbit would be great.
Yeah. Not Piglet though. I don't see that working.
Oh,
Tigger.
Winnie the Pooh, you're stuck in my doorway. All I can see is your bum.
No, he wouldn't be a good Piglet. That's
Oh,
true.
Forster.
The wonderful
Forster.
thing about Tigger's the
Oh,
wonderful
Mason.
things.
This guy did
What?
Finding Neverland. This seems like your kind of guy.
Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah,
checks
that
out.
could be good. Yeah. So, does anyone else have any news stories? Because I kind of dropped the ball this week.
Let's talk about the big thing. Disney is trying to buy 21st Century Fox.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, it's 20th Century Fox, buddy.
Mark Forster also directed a movie called Machine Gun Preacher, and I'm kind of interested.
Well, let's stay on subject. Let's not go back.
Mason
It's so hard doing this show every other week because you forget the middle week's news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. We had a
just...
conversation about this, but let's put it on air.
We did. Mason, why
that
don't
was
you start?
heated. That was very heated.
It was not heated.
No,
you
it
made
really
it out
wasn't.
to be heated.
It felt heated to me.
It wasn't.
Okay,
I was
here's-
playing devil's advocate.
For those listening, here's the thing. As you probably heard, Disney at one point showed interest in buying 20th Century Fox.
Still does.
21st Century Fox.
Either way,
If you like.
you know, it'd be cool to see them get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
No, Fantastic Four maybe. X-Men, I'm not so sure. Because Fox is actually doing R-rated interesting things with the X-Men franchise lately. I.e. the Deadpool 2 trailer that just came out. So I'm fine with Fox keeping the X-Men. Like, yeah, it was kind of schlocky for a while, but they're getting really good. Like, I loved Logan. It was probably still my favorite movie of the
I
year.
think outside of Logan and Deadpool, there isn't going to be an improvement. I think they're going to keep doing them schlocky, especially if they keep Bryan Singer around, which I really hope they don't. But
Well, yeah, he's a petter.
this is true, but I'm going to have to bleep that.
8-year-olds,
Why?
dude.
8-year-olds, dude. Exactly.
But I don't think the weird horror one, that's going to be okay.
I'm excited for that.
They're going to keep going with their new X-Men cast, and it's going to be schlocky, and I don't see it improving unless they bring like Matthew Vaughn back.
Yeah.
I did like First Class. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, because you could have so much. Listen, you're gonna have so much expansion, and I'm not lobbying just for them to buy those assets. Keep in mind, they're not buying 20th Century Fox Fox in its entirety. They're not gonna own the Fox channel, the network. They're not gonna own, Fox News. They're not gonna own that stuff. They're
Who
gonna
would want
keep
Fox News?
Well, yeah. They're gonna buy the assets of the studio assets, which is the film studio themselves, Hulu, hello, and
oh no,
yeah,
Oh wow,
yeah.
See,
not a lot of people know that but they're seeking to also acquire Hulu, which is in my opinion, that's like the second biggest streaming site. And what's Disney trying to do right now? So it's a much bigger game than you're thinking. But keep in mind also that Disney owns a lot of stuff you don't think about. They own the Weather Channel. They own a lot of stuff.
Do they really?
Yes, they do. Yes.
No
They own
way.
a ton of
Disney owns a
stuff.
lot, man.
You don't
own
see
way
them
too
slapping
much,
a lot.
then.
Yeah,
No.
see, I'm all for Disney buying back more Marvel properties. I don't want them to have all this power because then it's too much for one company.
Yes, it's called a monopoly.
Seeing what they're doing with the Last Jedi, and charging theaters, or making theaters charge more,
yeah.
or requiring theaters to pay more to have Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's really underhanded. But it's Star Wars. The theaters have to do it.
Yeah.
And if Disney gets more and more power, they're going to keep doing things like this, which is not okay. They don't have the right to be wielding all this power over mom and pop theaters and stuff like that, and making them pay more and play Star Wars more.
I think I really don't think there are too many mom and pop theaters out there too much. Most of them are owned by, your big box AMCs, your, all that stuff. So, or your Cinemarks and what have you. So I don't really think that's too much of an issue. Granted, I'm sure there are still, small theaters out there, and there are those 1, 2, 3 screen theaters that can't afford to have one movie that is going to have to be there for upwards of 2 or 3 months. I understand that, but I honestly, I think there's enough bad PR going out from this event that is going to give them pause when the next big movie of theirs is coming out.
Wait,
that may be the next
what
Star
do you
Wars
mean by
movie.
that?
I think there's enough bad press going out by what they're doing now. I think they're committed to what they're doing now. By charging this, but I don't think they're going to do it again because there's enough people complaining and saying bad form on them for them to merit them doing this again, because obviously you feel the way you do about this.
But this is the second time they've done this to the theaters. They did it last time with Force Awakens, and for all I know, they did it with Rogue One. I don't remember remember hearing
No,
anything
I'm
about
sure
it.
they didn't. Yeah, you would have heard about that.
That's
But
true.
you know, I don't think what they did for Force Awakens was to the extent that they've done it this time. And I'm not defending what they're doing. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's necessarily as big of an impact as you guys do. I'd respectfully disagree with that. However, I do see that's not something that should become a norm.
Right, and I'm afraid because there are great people at Disney on the creative side, but the business side, I'm afraid they're going to be too controlling and want all the money that they can just do what they want. And
I
if
mean, you
they
got to
keep
keep in
buying up
mind.
more and more assets like this, they can get away with it because there won't be any competition.
But you got to keep in mind
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to keep. Sure, all right. You could look at this one or two ways. They're buying stuff, making their business better. It's a business. You got to understand. At the end of the day, the Walt Disney Company is a business. It's a multinational, diversified business. So
That's doing quite well.
that is doing quite well, but it's not. They're not running a charity here. Well, like, oh, listen. Well, we'll give you the X-Men because we're gonna.
Then
You got to
earn it
understand
in a
they're a
better
machine.
way is what I'm saying. Don't shortchange these theaters. Make better content with what you have.
Hey
They
guys,
have.
remember the Lone Ranger? What a hit!
Tyler,
Yeah.
I love you, but that's not relevant whatsoever.
Because it was a Disney movie that flopped and lots.
No, actually, okay, I'll give that to you, Tyler. Yeah, no, The Lone Ranger, John Carter, like Disney has not been making.
Tomorrowland.
They've been making some of the biggest blockbuster flops,
but
that
they've
we've
also
seen
been
in a
making
while.
billion-dollar movies. So
Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep in mind that for
I am keeping it in
about
mind.
10 years prior, something they were incredibly worried about was, all right, we have ways to keep the female audience with the Princess brand, pretty much Princess Tinkerbell brand. We have them for life. We can't keep the male audience for life. How do we do that? And within 10 years from asking that question, you've got them with Marvel, and then you got them with Star Wars. So, and those are fiercely followed
Well,
fan
let's
bases.
not forget the massively successful National Treasure brand as well.
Well, actually, I was thinking about that
The
earlier
real treasure
today.
was inside them all along.
The real treasure was between a relationship between a father and a son.
We had to find that out twice.
I love those movies so much.
Actually,
The first one's
3
fun.
times if you count The Last Crusade.
Oh.
Oh.
So let's see. While we're talking about the X-Men, though, how you guys feel that apparently James Franco is going to be playing Multiple Man?
Was that a joke?
Wait,
What the heck was that?
Whoa! Who's Multiple Man?
Multiple Man can multiply himself.
Didn't you
That's
ever see that
literally
Michael
it.
Keaton movie?
That's Loki does that.
But now someone at Fox can do it.
Alright, full disclosure, I've been off Facebook for a good week and a half just because I needed a break, so some of these things are news to me.
I don't understand why they would announce this, because they haven't announced a movie around it. All they said is James Franco is producing an X-Men movie where he will play Multiple Man.
Maybe he was high when that news broke and it won't happen.
There's a chance of that.
The thing
So
is,
I'll
James
be like,
Franco's such a
An X-Men.
divisive actor that no one's
It'll
going
be
to
like
want to
8 of
see.
me.
Oh boy.
I don't think I think he's gonna be great in The Disaster Artist, and I'm looking forward to
I'm
that.
so
But,
Yeah, and I
excited.
think he'll win some more fans over through the film. Yeah, but
I don't. On the whole, as of right now, I don't think he's a great actor.
James Franco is one of those guys where you either love him or hate him, and I
I
don't think being
That is
Multiple
not
Man is
true.
gonna
I
win
am
him
very
any fans.
indifferent to James Franco.
I'm very indifferent towards that guy.
Yeah, he's a guy. He exists. He was good in
I enjoy him in Spider-Man.
Him in
So
the third
good.
one, he just chews all the scenery.
He's so good in the third one, guys. Like
That's why I love it.
the scene in the cafe is brilliant.
So good.
Oh boy! All right.
Spider-Man 3 has brought me such joy. I know it gets so much hate, but what a blessing the Raimi trilogy is on my life.
I remember after we went to see Spider-Man 3, my mom was telling a friend's mom, like, oh yeah, you can bring the boys to see it. Spider-Man's great. And he has to fight, like, all these other different villains. Like, there's this Sandman and this this green guy who used to be his friend. And there's this Tar guy as well. I'm like, oh boy, Mom, you only got Sandman right. Out of luck.
Oh my gosh, you should have her do movie summaries.
Oh, if she could stay away from the full movie,
comment and subscribe if you want to see Tammy Lakaitis review this year's great blockbusters.
And he has like sharp teeth, and if the tar gets on you,
your mother is a delight. I hope you know that both myself and my wife adore your mom.
Your mom's fantastic.
Like you gotta understand, she only had
teacher.
Yeah, she only had she was only able to give a fleeting impression upon my wife, yet she has sincerely won her over 100%.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. All right, guys. Well, now that we've finished talking about my mom, I think that's the end of the news segment.
How did we end up here? James Franco, that's how.
All right.
James Franco bringing us all together.
This week's theme for the movies were prequels. Films that have taken place before the original films that we all love so much.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler, I don't think you've gone first once. Do you want to go first?
For that. All right, I'll get it over with.
What movie were you given?
I was given Casper, A Spirited Beginning, and I wanted it to spirited end. I had to watch this. All right, so funny story though. I watched this at work, and I had to watch it in like 3 parts because I kept getting a headache. So from people walking behind my desk and seeing it, it looks like I've been watching Casper for like 2 days straight.
Man, that Tyler guy's on a Casper movie marathon. I don't know. I think he's just watching the same one over and over again.
I just love Casper, A Spirited Beginning so much. I have it on a loop.
Casper is my spirit animal.
But thankfully, this one was on YouTube, but it wasn't like censored like Oh Heavenly Dog, so all the audio was there. I found like 3 uploads of Casper Spirited Beginning, so someone out there really likes this movie.
And the studio just doesn't care enough to take it down.
No.
All right, I know enough about this movie where I've been waiting 2 weeks to hear you talk about how this movie starts.
Have you actually?
Yeah.
Yes.
I honestly, I haven't seen the movie, so.
Tell me how this movie starts.
Well, first of all, 1, because I was bored, and 2, because it was on Netflix. I watched the 1995 Casper beforehand just to see how good of a prequel this was.
Oh, wow. That shows some dedication.
Big mistake! Because I got used to, like, the Casper 1995 isn't a masterpiece, but, like, the effects are decent.
Yeah.
Like, like, there are worse children's films out there, like what Mason watched, that got a theatrical release.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just cartoon ghosts. 90s CGI couldn't really screw that up.
I'm just shocked that this character has lasted as long as he has, because there's nothing to him.
Yeah,
he's
they're
really
true.
There are more complex characters out there.
That's the character.
The only thing that has ever made Casper complex as a character is a throwaway gag in The Simpsons where Bart and Lisa are theorizing that Casper is the ghost
beat me to
of a
it.
dead Richie Rich.
I was gonna go there. Thank you, though. That was a great reference.
It's one of my favorite jokes, and Marge is like, guys, come on, lighten it up back there.
Lisa says Richie Rich like took his own life because of the pursuit of money was fleeting or something. It's great.
Yeah, yep. And that adds so much interesting backstory to the character that's never, ever expanded upon in actual Casper lore.
I wanted to bring this up. In the 1995 movie, they explain how Casper died. I'm going to sum it up, even though it's not really from the movie I had to watch. But Casper, I assume in the late 1800s or early 1900s.
Early 1900s.
Okay, Mason knows his Casper lore.
Thank you, thank you, Mason, our resident Casper historian.
Well, actually, Casper was his last name was McFadden, and he's from the early 1900s. Everyone knows that.
He was a small Caucasian boy with blonde hair, blue eyes, and preferred to wear big bow ties.
Oh,
You sound more of
he
a...
doesn't wear a bow tie. He doesn't have a bow tie. We're not even talking about the movie.
We're not even talking about the right movie.
No, but it's so dark though. So Casper's a little boy and he gets his father buys him a sled, right? So he keeps sledding and sledding and sledding, and this terrible father doesn't take him out of the cold, so Casper dies of pneumonia, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What a terrible father. And the father feels so guilty about killing his son and not being a decent parent and taking him out of the cold, for God's sakes. He invents a cure for death.
Not a cure for death, but yeah, basically.
Something that can bring people back from the dead.
Yeah, that's one of the things from that movie that doesn't make sense, because, like, there's a lot more attempted murder in that movie than I remembered, but 2 people actually die on screen and come back as ghosts. But they have clothes and noses and ears, but Casper doesn't have anything. He doesn't even have hair.
That's how he caught ammonia.
Pneumonia, not ammonia.
He's out there, naked as a blue jay.
Sniffing ammonia in a field of snow.
I think that's an expression.
Naked as a blue jay? No.
Anyway.
It's naked as a jaybird.
Well.
See, you're some sort of bird with jay.
Blue jays are abundant in feathers.
Are jaybirds not?
I assume not. I'm going to look that up. All right, let's get through this Casper review before. All right.
How does Casper Haunted Beginning start?
A spirited beginning. It begins with a rap song and 3 minutes of credits. That's how it begins. But after that, Casper just kind of wakes up on this horribly animated train in this horribly CGI animated world. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And then he falls out of the train and then inexplicably ends up in this quaint little small town. And Ben Stein is there for a quick cameo.
Who is there?
And he's like, Ben Stein is there, which he was in the first one too. Actually,
see, these movies are connected.
I don't know if it's the same character, because Rodney Dangerfield is in both movies as well.
What?
Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield has a quick cameo in the original Casper as Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
And then he actually plays the mayor.
Hell yeah.
3 lines?
Yeah, I know he's the mayor in this one.
No,
which
yeah.
is really sad.
No, he has one good line in the movie, but I'm just like, I love Rodney. Why is he doing this?
I mean, Rodney Dangerfield doesn't have a great movie track list.
Caddyshack and Back to School are pretty much it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Then we
I love those
Rover
movies.
Dangerfield, which is a great movie.
Mason loves Rover Dangerfield. Guys,
we need to start talking about Casper.
Hold on, I have one question, and then we'll get back to Casper, because I can sum up this movie real quick, because nothing really happened.
Okay.
Is Rover Dangerfield technically a Christmas movie?
You know what? I'm going to say yes, because there's a whole number about not being on a Christmas tree.
Yes!
No.
Yes, I figured it out!
Oh boy, I think we want to know what someone's watching for the Christmas episode.
Wait a minute.
I love you, Mason.
Wait a minute. Wait. No, I tuned out for a minute.
Mason, stop interrupting. I need to talk about Casper, a spirited beginning.
Oh,
yeah, we better get back to Casper, Mason. We don't have time to talk about anything else.
So basically, there's a sad little boy named Chris and his father Steve Gutenberg, and he wants to tear down this building, but Lori Loughlin from Full House says, no, don't tear down this building. But he's like, I need to tear down this building. Rodney Dangerfield told me to. And then James Earl Jones...
If Rodney tells me to tear down a building, I'm going to tear down a building.
You gotta turn down a building. You gotta turn it down.
No respect for this building. I got no respect for this building.
To a ghost.
What is it with all the impressions this episode?
I am so off topic. Someone help me. We've been recording for half an hour.
When does Casper realize that he's dead? Because he
doesn't
realize that initially, right?
If you're going by the continuity of the first movie, he is a little dead boy. If you're not, I don't know what he is. He's just kind of there. Like, I assume he died somehow, woke up on this train.
You're waiting for a train.
And the train takes you to training school for ghosts, where they teach you how to haunt, a haunting license. There's so many puns in this movie. I wanted to become a ghost myself. What else? Nothing happens in this movie. There's this kid named Chris who becomes friends with this ghost, and Casper meets his douchey, poorly animated uncles, and they're like, "We'll teach you to be a ghost." And then after 10 minutes, they're like, "You cannot be a ghost." And then he is sad.
You must go back to the world of the living.
You're a terrible ghost.
You suck at being dead.
We're resurrecting you, boy.
So wait, how does Casper going to haunting school cross over with this dude has to tear down a building for
There's
Rodney
no
Dangerfield?
correlation, really. There's this Pauly Shore plays this like fart-looking ghost that reports to
Pauly
James Earl
Shore
Jones.
is in this movie?
Pauly Shore is in this movie as James Earl Jones' little lackey.
Oh?
James Earl Jones is in this picture?
There are a surprising amount of talented people in this movie. Rodney
James Earl Jones is the lackey?
James Earl Jones is the villain in this movie, yes.
Oh,
Rodney
okay.
Dangerfield did it. We got James Earl Jones. What else we got? Michael McKean from Spinal Tap is in this, and Clue. He was Mr. Green in Clue.
It's like, how more ghostly can this thing get? And it's like, none.
Let's get the impression counter in here. We gotta be in double digits by now.
You should keep a counter. Yeah, we're doing great.
Oh, yeah. How do you keep a counter on an audio track?
You see, I can't distinguish between a YouTube video and a podcast.
Look, Tyler's
apparently.
just the idea guy. He's just the idea guy. It's up to me and Mason to actually figure out how to do it.
So Casper has spirit beginning.
We haven't talked about this movie at all. We just know the cast.
That's all there is to this movie.
Let me just take you to the climax. Because there's really...
All right, here we go.
So Casper and the little boy are excited because Steve Guttenberg's been ignoring his son the whole movie, but he's coming home for dinner, so we're gonna have a montage and make dinner and goofy faces. Oh boy. Steve Guttenberg comes home for dinner, but he's working. Oh no. So the boy storms out and goes to the house they're gonna tear down. Oh no. But Steve Guttenberg forgets that he told Michael McKean to put dynamite in the house to go off when the protesters are near it.
What?
So the little boy is trapped in a house that's about to explode with dynamite.
Killing
Casper
protesters?
Yeah, I guess the protesters gonna die too. Yeah.
That's an afterthought.
Mayor Dangerfield's numbers are gonna go way up in the next polls.
Rodney Dangerfield's a great politician.
You're standing against me. I'm gonna blow you away.
So Casper eats the bomb and everyone is saved.
Wait, he eats
then the movie is over. He eats the bomb and it blows up inside him, and then he's fine because he's already dead, I guess.
I can't. I'm just sitting here in silence, staring at my own hands, like, what is going on?
To be fair, we barely talked about this, and I've been very scattershot. But anybody have any questions? Who suggested this? Mason.
Yeah, I did.
You gave me this. Why?
Because
why did you do this?
After 3 weeks of Scooby-Doo, you all must pay.
He's become vengeful. I had to sit through Norm of the North. Now Tyler must sit through Casper.
Oh, I'm not done with you, Lakaitis.
Oh, dear.
He'll be back for more.
All right, well, that's Casper, A Spiritual Beginning.
Jerry Falwell.
Next week on Bible Man. Guest stars in A Spiritual Beginning.
I'm the Holy Ghost, kids.
Oh my gosh. That's sacrilege.
Oh no.
That's sacrilege.
Will that get bleeped out? How does this work?
I don't know.
I say sacrilege is as good a place as any to move on.
Okay, so, Mason, what was your movie?
Oh. Well, my movie was Viva Rock Vegas, or rather, The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas.
How many times do they play the Elvis song?
They played
Twice,
the Elvis
I think.
song 3 times?
Oh, wow.
Really?
More.
Yeah.
They played Hound Dog 3 times.
What?
I said Elvis song. I thought you...
Oh,
That's the Elvis song
stop
I
it.
meant.
They rewrote it, though. They rewrote it for the movie.
To what?
Wow. No, they just took out the word lost and replaced it with rock. That's not rewriting.
Well, like, they didn't play the actual Elvis version.
Well, he wasn't alive yet, so no.
He wasn't alive yet?
Elvis wasn't even a thing. He's talking in the
How can
context of
the
the movie.
Flintstones
We were about to
celebrate
jump on him.
Christmas? There's no Jesus.
Yeah, so I watched...
I thought Tyler slipped up and we were going to get him. But no, he was talking about it in the context of the movie.
Yeah. So yes, I watched, after 3 weeks of watching live action adaptations of Hanna-Barbera's Scooby-Doo, I watched a adaptation of Hanna-Barbera's Flintstones, a sequel and yet a prequel to the 1994 film. This film came out in 2000. With a completely different cast.
You mean they didn't get Rosie O'Donnell back?
No, yet she is technically in it because she randomly voices a random puppet.
That's right. She voices like
She
an
voices
octopus
a what?
masseuse,
Yeah,
right?
there's an octopus.
There's an octopus voiced by Rosie O'Donnell.
I feel like you need to bleep that word out. I know he didn't say anything wrong, but it just felt weird.
It just sounds so wrong. Did I slip up and say octopus instead of octopus?
No, it's a
You
masseuse.
gotta start beeping out words
It's an-
that sound dirty.
It's a masseuse. Octopus, so I was like an octopus.
Oh, I thought you were mocking me.
No,
Okay.
no. But yeah,
He was a little.
all the characters are recast. So here's what I feel about this film. Because I have actually not seen the Flintstones movie, ever. But I have seen bits and pieces of this.
I thought I had seen the Flintstones movie, but then as I'm watching a review of Viva Rock Vegas, it turns out, no, I have only seen Viva Rock Vegas.
Yeah.
Wait, am I the only one that's grown up with the actual Flintstones?
You may be correct
Apparently.
with that.
Because I didn't see Rock Vegas until later, out of curiosity.
No, I used to go to a camp in the Adirondacks every fall with my family, and they'd have like a little projector, and everyone could come watch movies at night. And they played every year Jack Frost and Viva Rock Vegas.
Viga.
Did they want people
It's Viga Rock Vegas.
Were they overcrowded?
I don't know, but all I can remember is Fred bowling with the rocks, and then he gets a 7-10 split, so he
Wait,
throws his
Dwayne
bowling...
The Rock Johnson was there?
Boo. He throws his bowling ball rock up in the air, and it splits in two, so it can get the 7 and the 10 split just fine. And as a kid, I thought that was a really clever idea.
Yeah. Do you still
So
think
you
that's
were
clever now?
applauding in your mind, Viva Rock Vegas. Like, oh, for sure, quite clever. Oh, it's bull.
But yeah, anyway.
Let's get to the movie with the talking snowman. I want to watch that one.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Is that a Christmas movie?
Jack Frost? Yeah.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of things I can give Mason. Okay. Proceed.
So I honestly don't know what the first one was about, but I'm guessing it was just
Oh,
standard.
oh! Can I sum it up real quick?
Yeah, briefly.
All right, but it's got to be quicker than Casper, man.
Okay. Kyle MacLachlan tricks Fred Flintstone into looking like a crook so he can embezzle money from the quarry, and that's the movie.
Okay.
Perfect.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's the only clip I've seen. I'm an executive. I'm
embezzling.
But yeah, so this starts at the very beginning with...
Of time?
Yeah.
After the 7 days of creation, God created
I don't
Fred
think
Flintstone.
I don't think that's the timeline they're going with.
That's not.
Do Christians believe in cavemen? Is that a thing?
This is Super Mario Brothers timeline, are you saying?
Yeah.
It don't get no better than this.
So it starts with them at the beginning of their careers in the quarry, just passing their tests. Fred and Barney. Meanwhile, Wilma is like in this rich hoity-toity family, and she yearns for more.
Harvey Korman is there.
Yes, Harvey Korman, which leads me to the
right.
most interesting. He's like the most interesting part of the movie to me because his name is Colonel Slaghoople, which leads me to ask. Colonel, you mean there's a military? You mean there's wars here? What does that look like? I want to see Fred and Barney's army times together.
Want to see Fred and Barney drafted?
Yeah, Fred and Barney get drafted.
It's just Harvey Korman. He gets into a dinosaur like it's a tank. They go in.
Ew.
Somehow the tank treads get blown off of the dinosaur. The dinosaur's there lying. It's a very dramatic moment, but then the dinosaur just looks into the camera and goes, it's a living.
We should write this movie.
The Rock
Oh
War.
my gosh.
World War Rock.
Well, we'll work on the title.
World War I BC. No, I don't know.
10,000 BC.
Yeah. World War 10,000 BC.
The Prince Rockolution?
Anyway,
I got
so
nothing.
she runs away from home because she thinks they're all terrible people because they're all hoity-toity and up in their business. And
Mason, you're forgetting how the movie actually begins.
I know, but I'm going to get to that.
I'm just making sure you don't forget that is a part of the movie.
Oh, yeah. So... So she runs off, runs into Betty, who thinks Wilma is homeless, takes her in, and then the guys are celebrating that they passed their test. However...
Oh, real quick. Winnie,
you gotta stop interrupting him.
Stop it. Just
I know,
stop.
but
Stop
this
interrupting.
Is important.
Hold on, I want to hear what he's got to say.
Wilma is Jenna Maroney.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Oh, I thought, all right, no, that was pointless then. Go on, Mason.
Okay, so then they're off, and Fred Flintstone is like, "Hey, have you ever thought of anything? Trying to find a girl?" And they're like, "Oh, women." Just then, the great Gazoo falls from the sky, and he has come to Earth, as shown in the beginning, to study the mating ritual of humans. And
who is the great Gazoo played by?
The great Alan Cumming, of course.
Can I just say something real quick about that? I was watching Stanley Kubrick's last movie, Eyes Wide Shut, this weekend, and he was in it. Stanley Kubrick's last movie was the movie he was in right before Viva Rock Vegas.
Wow.
He's had a varied career.
He's just a very versatile actor. He is one.
He has a terrible engine.
The Spy
He
Kids
is like
3D.
I literally he is just one step below Tim Curry to me. He is the Tim Curry that
That's
almost
fair.
was.
That could be a Christmas special.
The Tim Curry that almost wasn't. Ooh, that's foreshadowing. Anyway, so yeah, the film actually opens. It's a Universal film, so it goes by, and like the Universal logo is made out of bones and everything, but it's Universal. And then he's like, "Hey, did anybody see those letters going by?" I thought that was actually funny. And we get in. Actually, another thing I want to mention: we only have to wait about 4 minutes into the film before we get our first fart joke. To which I was bracing myself.
That's good.
But then as I was going out throughout the film, I think that was the only fart joke. So I was actually delightfly surprised.
Got it out of the way early.
Yeah. So anyway, so obviously Betty and Wilma are together, and Fred and Barney are together. And so the two groups meet, and actually Wilma and Barney get set up, and Fred and Betty get set up. So
what a twist.
Yeah, it's a twist. And then throughout the course of a double date, they realize that the others are meant to be with the others. And this gets to another thing I want to mention. There are a lot of really uncomfortable sexual undertones in this film, way more than there should be for a kid's film. But the premise of the whole thing is Gazoo watching the mating rituals, so it's kind of messed up. So because when they realize they're supposed to be with the other person, you know, Barney and Betty go running off together, and he says to Fred, like, hey, I realized that, you know, you went with her, but I think you know, she wants to leave with me, and I mean, do you mind? And at that point he's fallen for Wilma, Fred, I mean, and he's like, not a problem. But he's like, great, she wants to go back to her apartment and cook me breakfast. I don't know what we're gonna do between now and then, though. So there's that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's that.
That's a pretty good joke, just not for a kid's movie.
Yeah, not for a kid's
all.
movie. But another thing, Betty is played by Jane Krakowski, which you guys would know from 30 Rock and those Trop 50 commercials. I hate her. She is just the worst. In everything. I can't stand that woman. I cannot stand that woman. In anything she does.
No!
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I would...
She's great!
Like, if I wasn't in the first season, I haven't watched it since because the second season wasn't any good, but I could not stand her character in that. I can't really... She's a little bearable. She's bearable just because she's Betty. I just don't think she's a good actress.
I think she's a fine actress.
Nope.
I think she's great at playing the jerk, crazy lady.
She's not in this, though, and she's, like, completely fine. There isn't a ton of depth to her. She's okay.
It's a Flintstones movie. We're not going to get a lot of depth in a prequel.
2000, yeah. But, yeah. But what it really feels like throughout the film feels really disjointed because the first half is them coming together. It's sort of like they finished the first film, and then they're like, what are we going to do next? And then one guy was like, Las Vegas, but like Rock Vegas, because they're Flintstones and it's a pun. Wow, okay. So like for the whole vacation, that's just their movie? I mean, I
really wanted to see how they met.
Well,
Let's do that instead.
Exactly. Someone did that, and I'm like, well, we could do both. Because I don't think the Rock Vegas is a full idea for a movie, but I don't think them meeting, you know, really substantiates a whole film. So that's what this sort of is. And it does follow the trope of framing Fred.
It's the same plot as the first one, right?
It's like that's a thing with Hanna-Barbera movies, I think.
It's just the same plot over and over? It was the plot of each cartoon.
Yeah.
They just repeat the same plot over and over again.
So... so they get invited out to Rock Vegas because this other rich guy that liked Velma wants to marry her, but really he just wants to marry her for her money so that he can pay off some mafia guys, because mafias were around with cavemen, because
it's Rock Vegas, you know, it's a shady town.
Yeah, it's a shady town. They go to Rock Vegas. He gets... Since he controls this guy Chip, so he like gets Fred Flintstone into a ton of debt so that he can frame him for stealing something, so that he can get him out of the picture, marry Wilma, and get the money.
Oh, I guess they do rhyme.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, Wilma, Daphne, Velma, everyone's up there now.
You got Hanna-Barbera on the brain, man.
Barbera brain. So obviously he gets, you know, the truth gets revealed, and yeah, there's a ton of other sexual undertones. There's one shot where Betty thinks Barney is fondling this woman's midsection with whipped cream. Yeah. Like, that's not appropriate for a kid.
Seriously?
I genuinely mean that. That actually happens.
What?
And it is not...
They gotta have conflict.
Yeah.
They can't just get together easily.
Yeah, so... But that's not appropriate for a kid's film, I think. Not the way... Especially the way it was shot. How
was it shot?
It was, you know... It was...
Coyly.
Coyly. Not gratuitous, but coyly. You knew. Gazoo was... Actually, I really enjoyed Gazoo. Alan Cumming plays another character, a Mick Jagger ripoff character that finds Betty after she thinks Barney's been cheating on him. That's weird, and I don't understand why that happened. And it wasn't necessary, I think. But yeah, all in all, you know, obviously the film ends with them all getting together, and Fred and Wilma get married. And it was actually, you know, it's clunky and it's cheesy, you know, very cheesy. But I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was actually
Did you really?
It was actually, you got to understand, I've watched Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo 2, Scooby-Doo, The Mystery Begins.
I mean, his standards were pretty low.
This is a step, like, honestly, the production design is pretty nice. It's tacky, but
That's
nice.
They commit to it, which I
absolutely.
I appreciate.
The effects are a fair blend between puppets and CG at that point. They make a weird joke with Jurassic Park, because they're on a date and they go by this thing and there's a stand saying Jurassic Park, you know, now open, and Barney goes, "Who'd pay to see a bunch of dinosaurs? That's dumb." But it's like, that was 7 years ago when the movie came out. That would be like if Coco.
But see, they forgot to make the joke in the original Flintstones. Like,
Yeah.
we gotta put in this one. We can't miss it twice.
But that would be like if Coco, because that comes out soon, if Coco made a joke off of Inception, you know? It was just.
Did they
weird.
actually?
No, I don't.
He's talking theoretically. None of us have seen Coco yet.
Yeah, Coco hasn't come out at the time of this.
I thought it was
recording
in the trailer or something. I have not seen much advertising for that movie.
But yeah, so it was actually pretty good. There were weird bits. It's a little too risque, I think, for young kids, but
and it's not entertaining enough for adults.
if you're channel flipping, it's not.
If you're a diehard Flintstones fan.
No, if you're just channel flipping, it's
and the
not
remote
bad.
just
It's
happens
not
to
great.
die on that channel.
I can't compare it. I can't compare it to the other film, because I can't give a good basis there. But from what it is, you know, it's pretty good. The actors are all pretty great. I think, especially the two playing Fred and Barney, they really bring it. It's Adam Baldwin's brother playing Barney, which is weird.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
I hear
but
he's
really great.
good as Barney. Like, he really commits to looking dumb.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and the voice is great. Did Rick Moranis play him in the first one?
Yep.
That's yeah.
I don't know how we went from a Baldwin brother to Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
But
so it's pretty good though. It's pretty good. It's
I was
okay.
not
It's fair.
expecting this positive of a review.
right,
okay.
yeah, this
For what it
backfired. Well, it sounds like it's my turn then, and
Sure
I
is.
had the honor of receiving Tremors 4.
The legend begins.
The legend begins. So this sets it all up. This is how it all began before Tremors 2 and Tremors 3 and Tremors the TV show.
And Tremors 5.
Well, which is coming out next year.
Wait,
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
been
So-
out for 2 years now.
Yep. So, Tremors 4 is directed and written by S.S. Wilson. S.S. Wilson wrote all the other Tremors movies. He directed the second one. This is his second film, from what I could find from his IMDb, that he's ever directed. But he's also written such acclaimed film as Ghost Dad, Wild Wild West, Short Circuit 1 and 2.
I like those movies.
We open in Nevada, 1889. And by the way this film opens, I expect there to be singing. It opens, and I almost thought it was going to be a musical. Because it looks like a Hallmark movie, but has the attitude of an angsty teenager that wants worms to eat people. But also, they have a budget of about $200. It's really fun because so it takes place in a little town called Rejection, and there's a silver mine just outside of town. But a bunch of miners, 17 miners, are killed. So everyone's kind of leaving Rejection except for the hotel owner lady, the Chang family, which owns the market, and a few other people. Old Fred, who's like this drunken hobo guy, who's great. But they have this worm problem, and there is one of the miners, Juan. He saw the whole thing. He saw his friend. At one point, the worms start eating people in the mines, and one of his friends gets sucked up into the roof, and he grabs his legs and tries to pull him back down, and when he does, it's just a dummy with no head.
Wait, what?
Seriously?
Yeah, like, it's such a weird juxtaposition, because the tone and look is like scary episode of Wishbone, but also...
It's oddly...
People are dying.
I can see what you're saying there. I know that. I can sense that aesthetic.
Description.
I'm so glad you understand. So when he
that
gets back
dog got into some weird things.
What's the story, Wishbone?
Let me tell you the story of Tremors 4, The Legend Begins. So they're sitting in the market, and they're trying to ask Chang what happened, because everyone's leaving, but apparently Juan hasn't told anyone. So someone's mocking him, like, oh, you're all scared of worms. And they're like, you didn't see what I saw. And the hotel lady's like, you know, Juan, you never did really say what you saw. And Juan responds, I saw nothing. But the nothing, it was the worst anything I've ever seen.
But the nothing.
That's like a review of the movie.
Anything.
That really summed it up. So, the man who owns the silver mine, Hiram Gummer, who I found out is the great ancestor of one of the characters that's in the original trilogy.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the dad from, what was the show, Michael Jordan?
Family Ties.
Yeah, Family Ties.
Mm-hmm.
He's the dad from that, and he's actually, I think, the highlight of the movie, because he's this uptight guy from Pennsylvania. It's weird, because he plays him, it almost sounds British, but I think he's just trying to sound fancy. So he comes to check on the silver mine, and they go up and see... At the point, the worms aren't full big on beasts, they're little larva kind of things. So they go up with a few remaining miners, and these little worms start attacking all the miners. And so for some reason, Gummer and Juan think, oh, we can just jump on the rocks. They're only coming through the dirt. But these things are literally diving out of the ground into the air, eating people's heads and stuff. It's interesting because this is 2004 television, but they're still going with practical effects.
Nice.
This film doesn't rely heavily on CGI. There's some bad CGI, but it's only in I'd say 15% of the movie at most. Everything else, most of all the worm stuff is done practically, which is really cool.
That's nice.
Yeah. So they go back to the town. Let's see. Oh, and they're like, we need a gunslinger. We need someone that can come in and really shoot these worms as they fly through the sky.
Really shoot them.
Look, I'm just trying to get to my next joke here. So the drunk, who I later found out is Old Fred, he's like, we need a gunfighter. Someone like Doc Holliday.
Huh.
And then there's what is the character's name? I cannot pronounce it, but there's an older Native American gentleman who just comments, well, yeah, but we need someone who isn't dead. And Old Fred just turns around and goes, Doc Holliday's dead? And the scene just kind of ends. They just leave it there. The Old Fred is devastated and apparently leaves town after hearing this news, because we don't see Old Fred again. We see...
Oh.
So they hire this gunslinger named Blackhand Kelly. And I think the only reason Blackhand Kelly is named Blackhand Kelly is because he wears a glove on his left hand, and he never puts his left hand down. He always keeps it raised to his shoulder. It's really weird, and it just looks odd through the whole film. Well, then again, Kelly's not really in the film that long, because they go and they find out the worms are growing. They're growing bigger. And Kelly, halfway through the film, is eaten Quint style by the worms.
Oh.
He's totally meant as this Captain Quint guy from Jaws, but is almost immediately eaten after telling the characters, we need bigger guns! And then he's gone. Just eaten. There is one clever thing in this movie, I thought, where they get trapped, Gummer, Juan, and Kelly get trapped in a cabin, and they can't go out anywhere because it's all soft dirt, but there are giant posts under the cabin, so the worms can't get in.
Okay.
None of them know Morse code, but there's a telegraph machine there. So they just start randomly hitting it, knowing that they can get to the market where the Changs are. And the Changs are just in there like, this isn't Morse code, it's just going nuts. But the kid gets the idea to start pulling wires from different towns. Like, okay, so it's not from there, It's not from there. Oh, it's the cabin. We got to go out there. You know, so they must be in trouble, which I thought was an interesting way to solve that problem.
Huh.
Yeah, it was interesting. They end up finding old Fred's broken down wagon. It's clearly been attacked by the worms, and they're searching. They're seeing if Fred's there, and they just see Fred's hat lying on the ground, and it's this really tense moment where they're about to lift up the hat to see it's just lying flat on the ground, but they're all acting like maybe old Fred's under the hat, maybe he's still alive, and it's this weird wide shot where one person's on like the left third of the screen, one's on the right third. They lift up the hat, nothing's there, but then they zoom into the middle of the carriage and just they reveal that old Fred's head is just there.
Where's his body?
The worm has eaten it.
It's gone to be with Doc Hollywood.
It's gone off to be with Doc Holliday.
I said Doc
Doc
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Hollywood. Anyway, so this whole film, like, there are character arcs which I was surprised by. Like Gummer learns that money isn't everything. It's not important what you do with your money. It's what's important you do with your life.
Hold on, my microphone is broken.
What?
Oh my microphone stand is very limp. I don't know what's going on.
Are you still recording?
Okay, no, we're good. Yeah, no, I'm still recording. It
okay.
Dropped. You hear a loud thud. So Tremors 4, the new batch.
Yes. The original batch. Yeah, there's a lot of character stuff that I just don't have time to talk about, but I like this film, honestly.
I told you, it's not bad.
Yeah, no, eventually the whole town kind of gets together. Gummer runs away initially because, there's no hope. We can't defeat these things. But he gives away the last of his money to buy guns so he can come back to the town and they can fight the worms. He gets this one giant cartoon-sized rifle called a punt gun, which they're able to use to kill one of the worms. Because there are 3 worms total, so they know they got to kill 3. Another one is killed because they're attracted to sound. That's how they hunt. The Native American guy sticks a giant saw down one of the holes in the ground and just bangs on it till one of the worms runs directly into the saw, killing itself. And the other one they strap to a machine and pull it towards this little steam-powered little mini train. And as soon as the worm hits it, his head explodes and the town is saved. And Gummer decides, you know what? I'll reopen the silver mine. I'll buy you all a proper hotel, a statue for you. I'll buy Juan's farm for his family. I'll, reopen the Chang's market, that kind of thing.
And I will keep the spirit of Christmas in my heart all the year long.
We shall never forget the spirit of Tremors. But we all must promise to never tell anyone about these worms, because no one will ever settle here. And if we ever, make a Tremors 1, then they'll know what's coming. We can't let them know.
How coy they are.
Exactly. So, honestly, I really enjoyed it. It's a cute little film. I want to go and watch the original Tremors, because that's the one that gets all the love. But yes, this is a weird film in just tone alone. It's like, I know it's a weird analogy, but if the scary episode of Wishbone analogy at all piques your interest, I say go watch it. So ultimately, it's time to ask, who won, who lost, and who got away with it?
I lost! Again!
I honestly think I won, but Mason, you sound like you'd be interested in arguing me on that one.
No, I think I got away with it. From what it sounds like, you enjoyed yours, and quite honestly, I think I might enjoy yours, so I think I might give it a whirl sometime.
I put off I literally just finished it before we started recording, but I actually really liked it.
There you go. Casper, A Spirited Beginning was terrible from Spirited Beginning to Spirited End.
Yeah.
All right, so it's time for questions.
Okay.
We haven't received any questions from our fans because, there are about 8 of you. I know people are listening because people talk to me about it and like, oh, when's the next episode? So it's nice.
Like a lot of people?
Well, like 2 or 3, but that's still a lot of people for a starting out podcast.
Yeah. I wouldn't call them fans. They're more well-wishers, as in they don't wish us any particular harm.
But last episode, we meant to talk about our favorite superhero movies.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So, real quickly, do we want to talk, because, Thor Ragnarok's up there for me. It's in my top 5 superhero movies now.
No, not at all for me.
I'd say my favorite superhero movie, period, is the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2. It's so campy and wonderful. And it just has this optimistic, fun tone that I wasn't expecting. Because I'm actually not a big fan of the first Richard Donner Superman. I've only seen it once, but and I think I'd like it going back. But Lex Luthor in the Donner cut of Superman 2, Gene Hackman chews all the scenery, and he's such a delight to watch.
He's fantastic, yes.
And then seeing Zod and his cronies discover the culture of Earth and just walk through the woods and find a snake. I had so much fun just hanging out with these characters, and I love it.
Okay.
What about you, Mace? What's your favorite superhero movie?
Quite honestly, I'm not sure. I think on merit, no. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Nice.
I have enjoyed that that franchise, but that film alone, I could watch again and again. I think of the recent Marvel movies, that's the only one I've gone to more than once or twice. In theaters, yeah. I bought it the day it came out. I still think it's a great movie. I don't know. I just really enjoy that film. I think all the characters have great arcs that build off of what they went through in the previous film. I think it's I love the twist. Spoilers really quick, but yeah, I love the twist with Ego. I was not expecting him to end up being the antagonist of the film.
I kind of saw that coming, since Ego in the comics is normally a villain.
But I didn't know that. I thought it was gonna end up just being that the Sovereign, the Golden People, were just the main antagonist. But I was like, whoa!
They were great joke villains, by the way.
Oh, they were. Yeah. But
I laughed a great deal when they're unfurling the little carpet when they're trying to get Yondu. It's great.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, and Yondu, that's another great part of that movie.
Oh, Yondu, yes. With Yondu. Michael Rooker, man.
Yeah. Definitely. So it's great. It's so I think that may be my favorite. Even though it's not a traditional superhero movie, if we're talking traditional, I might have to say somewhere in the vicinity of. I wrote a whole list, but I lost it. But if we're going traditional, I might say Spider-Man 2, just because it holds such a place in my heart. But another one I just really want to shout out is The Rocketeer, because it's an awesome, underrated film that no one talks about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, The Rocketeer is a superhero movie. So
when I think of Mason and just the films he likes, Rocketeer is always... It's one of those films that just kind of defines your love of film.
Oh, yeah.
I almost just said Looney Tunes Back in Action just to spit something out.
Oh.
I'd say RoboCop and Alien. That's your style of film.
Schlock?
That's the kind of stuff you love. Yeah.
I'll take it.
All right, so what's your favorite superhero film, Tyler?
I love the Tim Burton Batman so very, very much. And I know for a fact firsthand, one of the most depressing experiences of my life was I was with 2 hardcore Batman fans who had never seen Batman Returns, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, guys, you gotta watch this movie. It's fantastic." So I showed it to them, and they just hated it. They hated it. So I'm starting to realize that hardcore Batman fans aren't gonna really like it because of what they do, with the liberties they take with the characters.
I like it. That to me.
I loved Batman Returns the first time I saw it.
Batman Returns is great. Oh my gosh.
Watching it a second time, I didn't love it as much for some reason. It's weirdly paced. It's a very slow movie.
I think they both are, but I like that about them. They focus on two things people don't like. They're very slow, and they focus on the villains more than they actually focus on Batman.
But they're the real interesting parts of
you know. And I normally really love slow movies. Like, I just watched Aliens for the first time.
Did you love it?
I love... Oh, it's so good.
Aliens is so good.
The pace. Yeah, and like Blade Runner 2049, both Blade Runners are really slow, but they're good for it. Like, they're great slow movies.
It's called Building to Something.
Yeah, and
more movies
for
should
some
try
reason,
it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I gotta watch it a third time, but Batman Returns, I don't know if it does slow well.
I think it's I enjoy the movie. I enjoy I think it takes good liberties with the characters. That's my definitive Penguin
and everything.
Yeah, that's my definitive Penguin. I know it's not the right Penguin. I think there are other great versions of Penguin, but to me, I always loved Danny DeVito as the Penguin. I love all the work that went into it.
He's so disgusting, and it's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Christopher Walken making him run for mayor.
Oh yeah,
Bruce Wayne, what are you doing? Dressed as Batman.
What do you hear as rich trust fund boy yawn?
All right. Oh wait, did we do the palate? I think we did the palate cleanser and questions out of order.
Yeah, well,
you're the one running this show.
We haven't done palate cleanser yet.
So, well, yeah. If you guys want to ask us a question, literally, we will answer it. No one is asking us questions. If
they can be stupid questions for all I care.
You ask us our favorite kind of dessert, we will answer you. Just you can either tweet at us at artificialpod or email us at artificialpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
We will answer your questions whether or not they were related to movies.
You can also write us letters at P.O. Box, Never Write Here Again, at Indianapolis, Indiana, 46060.
Didn't you make that joke last episode in some form?
Do what?
No,
Did you make that joke?
No,
oh, okay.
Didn't.
I've used similar jokes. That's the theme.
All right, guys. So we've had some pretty bad movies in our mouths.
We really haven't. You guys got lucky.
No, it's true. It's true. It wasn't bad this week, but still. What have you guys been watching that you'd like to recommend?
Okay. Can I go first?
Yeah,
By all means.
The Criterion sale was this month, and I might go pick up a few more. But what I like to do is save up a little money for November, and then just pick up like 3 to 5 random movies, and then just save them for a rainy day. And I did that, and I had a little Criterion marathon of some stuff I've been saving up, and I watched. What did I watch? I watched Fantastic Planet, which is a really weird French animated movie from the 70s. And it's fantastic. It's so out there and like kind of trippy, but it's about these large blue aliens that keep like people as pets, and then the little people pets have like a revolution, and they go to the Fantastic Planet at the end. It's great. It's great. I watched a Fellini film called Armored, which Winnie, I think I want you to watch because it's 2 hours of Fellini being nostalgic for 1930s Italy, but it's like episodic vignettes, like comic little vignettes about different things that he remembers. Like this lady did this and this. It's great.
That sounds wonderful.
I watched Naked Lunch on Hunter's advisement, and I hated it. I hated it so much. And then, just to kind of wrap it up, I've been getting into Twin Peaks lately because the new series is out. And I know Gravity Falls draws from it a lot. And again, Hunter recommended it. And I've been wanting to try some David Lynch. So I watched it on Netflix, and I loved it. And
I mean to go watch it. I love David Lynch.
I am starting to appreciate it more. I got the movie on Criterion, Firewalk with Me, which is notorious for being hated, and I actually really enjoyed it. I would say watch it after the series because it spoiled things that I wasn't ready to know yet because I watched it after I watched the first season.
Doesn't David Bowie have a random cameo in that movie?
Yes, and most of his stuff got deleted out, and there's a 90-minute collection of deleted scenes that David Lynch put together called The Missing Pieces. It's on the Criterion. So I haven't watched it yet, but I know that full David Bowie scene is on there.
Gotcha. For me, I just got to be able to go watch Casablanca again.
Nice.
Oh, wonderful.
Toby had to watch it for a grad school class, so so we sat down and
Baby.
watched it. And I'm not going to recommend Casablanca because you should go watch Casablanca.
Okay.
But what Toby made the point of, I'm learning I don't hate black and white films. I'm learning I love black and white films with Nazis in them.
Oh.
Which, because my favorite movie of all time, which is also on the Criterion Collection, is black and white, has Nazis, and Jack Benny. So I'm going to recommend this week 1942's To Be or Not to Be. It is this wonderful film about these Polish actors having to deal with Nazis invading Poland. And it was remade by Mel Brooks sometime, I think, in the 70s. And it's not
80s.
nearly as good as the original. 80s, yeah. It's such a great film.
To be fair, he did not direct the remake. He was just in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
yeah.
thought he directed it too. All right. This film also inspired Tarantino for Inglourious.
I did not
there's a
know that.
whole-
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
The whole theater element of Inglourious is inspired by To Be or Not to Be. Yeah, and I can't speak highly enough of this film. There are plot points in this film that are predictable, but they do them in such a clever way that they're interesting, and it literally makes my jaw drop. Just how they set things up, it's wonderful.
All right, great.
So yeah, definitely check out To Be or Not to Be. And since it's on Criterion, you get it 50% off this month if you go to Barnes & Noble. It is so worth it. It is my favorite movie of all time.
If you're a cheapskate who still has a DVD player, you can get it for $15.
There you go. All right, Mace.
So as you may know, I have received my movie pass in the past few weeks. For
Nice.
those of
Very
you,
good.
for those listening who don't know what a movie pass is, it is a subscription sort of program. It's $10 a month right now. You sign up, and for $10 a month, you can go to one movie every day. All you have to do is you just sign in with the app, and then present your card at the ticket booth, and you're good to go. One free movie every day, just $10 a month. I've already got my money's worth out of it. I went and saw 2 movies this past week. I saw Suburbicon.
I've been wanting to see that.
Yeah, the film is directed by George Clooney. Yeah.
And
Stars
it's written
Matt
by
Damon.
the Coen brothers.
Yeah, written by the Coen brothers. So it's a great film. Got great production design. I unfortunately did not get to complete the film because right at the climax of the film, the fire alarm went off, and we had to exit the theater. So unfortunately, I did not get to fully complete the film, but I saw.
What did you think of it up to a point?
It was not what I was expecting.
I've heard that.
It did not get great reviews at all.
It's not what I was expecting, but it's still a good film. It creates.
Okay.
Just understand, and I'm not trying to spoil anything here for you. Just understand that the trailers give it the look that it's going to be a revenge drama, like the guy is out for revenge. That is not what it is about at all.
Yeah, no, I didn't think the trailers were clear at all what the film was, and I was happy for it, but I didn't get a revenge plot or anything. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, you saw it?
No, but I've seen the trailer.
Oh, you think from the trailer? Okay, yeah. So that's not what's going on. It's a lot more interesting, I guess you'd say. It's very well acted. Oscar Isaac is in the film. I think Oscar Isaac.
Damaram.
Yeah, I think he has not yet peaked. I think something needs to happen with him, where he needs to be put in the limelight. Because I feel right now he's really great as supporting characters, but I think he has it to carry a film. I haven't seen him as a main character in something.
I think he would be a great Indiana Jones-esque character.
I think it would be. Yeah, I could see it. Not Indiana Jones exactly, but I could see him in an Indiana Jones film as a supporting character, but I could see him as an adventurer sort.
Yeah, I could see him as, the wisecracking leading man. I really think he'd be great at that.
Yeah, and I've been, you guys know I've been working on an adventure sort of story lately, so I've actually been seeing him in that kind of that role there. But yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Suburbicon, good movie. Check it out. I don't hold me responsible if something upsets you in the last 20 minutes of the film, though. And also I
didn't see it.
Yeah. And also I saw Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, I've been wanting to see that. Did you like it?
Great
That seems like right up
movie.
your alley.
Yeah, great movie. The color is kind of weird. I actually had like a 30-minute debate after the film with my wife about it. I think
is it too blue?
No, I think it wasn't blue and cold enough in some of the shots, but at the very beginning it starts in Istanbul, or not in Istanbul. It starts in Jerusalem, and I feel like the color's a little too rich, and it doesn't. The film needed a little bit more grain or texture to it. But it was a great movie. I am not familiar. I've never seen an adaptation of the Orient Express.
Yeah,
so
see, I want to see the one from the 70s before I go see this new one.
Yeah, so I didn't know, who was responsible. So I was guessing throughout the whole film, and at the end I was like, whoa, wow. So it's pretty great. Of course, Kenneth Branagh is a master. Not only at acting but directing. He's
Take
part
the
of
first Thor, for instance.
Yeah, I actually like the first Thor. It's not great, but he fits in his Dutch angles. He fits in his Dutch angles in this here and there. I was actually doing a bit of a counter.
He did use a lot of Dutch angles in Thor.
Yeah. He didn't use too many here, but they were definitely prevalent, and I enjoy them when he does them.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so both of those are good films. Check them out if you have some time. Also, really quick, while I do have the mic, I just want to post out there, or just mention, for those of you who don't know, I have, I just want to mention I have a book coming out this week. It came out on the 21st on Amazon. Jerry the Bumblebee Who Couldn't Buzz, A Christmas Story. Our good friend Josh Lakaitis here did the illustrations for it.
That jerk.
Yeah, that guy. We've been working on that together.
Participate.
But it is a seasonal book. It's a Christmas book about a bumblebee, obviously, who cannot buzz, and it's all about using what makes you different to make the world a better place. And
interestingly enough, it shares a lot of plot elements as Tremors 4.
Yeah.
So if you like Tremors 4, definitely get Jerry and the Christmas Bumblebee.
Jerry and the Christmas Bumblebee.
Look, I just drew the pictures. I didn't read the title.
Jerry the Bumblebee Who Couldn't Buzz. But yeah, so check that out. You should be able to find that on CreateSpace and Amazon.
Yeah, awesome. Cool, guys.
Very cool.
Mason, what is the theme? Very cool.
Very
cool.
Very cool.
What is the theme for next 2 weeks episode?
Christmas!
It's Christmas time here at Artificial Entertainment, so before everyone kills each other, buying all the presents that they can, what are we watching, guys?
Christmas movies. Or Christmas specials.
I mean, let's get more specific.
Okay. So I was tasked to give you, Lakaitis, a film for which I have picked out a beautiful gem from way back when. It is the 1966 Italian-American film, The Christmas That Almost Wasn't.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh, I've seen this film, I think.
You have? Oh, good. This is going to be fun.
I think didn't season 11 of Mystery Science Theater do this episode?
Yes!
Do that movie?
Yes, they did.
I've seen this then.
Oh, you
Can
have?
I just watch the MST3K episode again?
No, you have to watch the full movie.
Oh,
without
boy.
the riffing.
I might just play the riffing in one ear.
Nope. You got to watch it.
Oh, no. All right. Tyler, you want me to give you your film?
Absolutely.
All right. You guys told me find some old obscure Christmas classics.
As obscure as possible. Yep.
All right. So I'm giving you 2017's Pottersville.
What?
Pottersville is a new Christmas movie that came out this month, starring. Oh, here, let me pull up the cast because it stars quite a few people.
Are you gonna be able to find this movie?
It's on Amazon. You can rent it off there. It stars Judy Greer, Ron Perlman, Michael Shannon, Ian McShane,
This doesn't look
Thomas
so bad.
Lennon. Tyler, let me put it to you this way. This movie came out in theaters this month. It did so bad, it's already available for rent. You can stream this movie now.
Okay.
Wait, like this just came out?
This just came out, had a failure theatrical run, and is already on streaming.
Nope. Critics reviews. What is it about?
Buddy, go into this film blind. I promise you, you will have such a fun time if you go into this completely blind, knowing nothing.
All right. Whatever. Mason.
I cannot wait. I might just rent this movie as well, just to watch it with you.
Mason, and an artificial entertainment first. I'm giving you a choice between two films. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. You can choose either 1986's A Smoky Mountain Christmas starring Dolly Parton or Rover Dangerfield. The choice is yours, my friend.
Oh no. Oh no. I am gonna do. I'm familiar with the Rover Dangerfield, so I'm gonna pick A Smoky Mountain Christmas with.
Yes. All right. Most of you fans probably don't know
Almost
this.
got him with Dangerfield.
But in our test episode, I delighted Winifred with a Dolly Parton film as well. So.
Yeah, Rhinestone. Whoop-de-doo.
So, fun fact about A Smoky Mountain Christmas. The Fonz directed it, and it stars Lee Majors.
Oh, my.
Oh, no.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you ever want to get in contact with us, you can follow me on Twitter at Josh_Lakaitis. Mason is on all the different social medias as Good Old Price. Tyler, how can they find you?
What?
Mason, can you turn it down a little? Can you turn down the outro music?
What are they selling?
Tyler, how can they find you on social media?
Ask your local mall Santa, and he will grant thy request.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Have a great couple of weeks. God bless.
Ding, 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 ding. That was fun. That was a great episode. Oh, I'm still recording.